Okay, good afternoon. My name is Christy and I'm the procurement analyst assigned to ITB number 22358, Low Pressure Sewer System SCADA Equipment Installation and Monitoring. For the record, this meeting is being recorded and has been publicly noticed. At this time, I'll ask each county staff member to introduce themselves for the record.
Yes, this is Chris Jones. So I'm the Field Maintenance Services Division Director, essentially the customer on this.
Okay. And I think I'm the only other staff member on at this point. Today's meeting is held by means of communications media technology. Active participation will be for those attendees that have provided their contact information prior to today's meeting. Provisions have been made for any member of the public desiring to have access to view the meeting. The online internet and live stream will also be available via recording after the meeting has ended. As a matter of housekeeping for participants, please mute your audio unless speaking. If you have called in, do not put the call on hold and click your camera off if needed. Bidders are cautioned that only a written amendment may change the bid document. Any statements or comments made by the county at this meeting, which may appear to modify the bid document, shall be considered by bidders as only a tentative position of the county. In order for these statements to be considered as an actual change to the solicitation, they must be published in a written amendment. An attendance sheet will be created based on those participants that provided their email contact information prior to today's meeting. The attendance sheet will be posted and sent to all bidders through online discussions in iSupplier after the meeting concludes. I'm also going to do a screenshot so that we have a record of all those in attendance. Get that screenshot of our participants. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a delay in my system. Hopefully we won't have any issues. The list is a little long. I want to make sure I capture everybody. Okay. All right. Please be advised that the cone of silence is still in effect. All questions should come through online discussion in iSupplier. At this time, I'm going to share my screen and show you how to get to the solicitation in iSupplier. Okay. What you see on the screen now is the Hillsborough County home webpage. To access our information, you would go to businesses doing business with Hillsborough County. Here is a link for the bid opportunity information where you can view bid opportunities. And this is the list of all the bid opportunities currently posted. To access our system, you would go into the vendors link. And there's a button here to log into iSupplier. If you're new to iSupplier, there is a link up here, and this will take you to a page that gives you information about registering in our system. I'm going to go ahead and log into the system. Okay. Here you can see this is iSupplier. And this is going to show you multiple tabs of information. Here's the list of bids with open invitations. I'm going to jump right to our current bid by typing the number in the search field. And here is a link to the bid. Okay. As you can see across the top of the bid, there's a couple of different tabs that are going to provide you some information. Here's a general description of the bid. Down here, you're going to see, when you click Show All Details, the requirements that you would need to provide when you submit your bid. At the bottom, you'll see the attachments that have been provided for this bid. The Lines tab shows you the lines that will be bid on with the estimated quantities. And your Contract Terms tab would show listed terms. You click on the Preview Contract Terms button, and it's going to open up a file. This is the PDF version of all the terms associated with the solicitation. And each of these items is a link to that section of the solicitation. That page, it'll take you right there. So if I click on specifications, it's going to jump down to the specifications section. And this will provide all the details and requirements and contract terms and conditions relative to the bid, including award, etc. You are able to save this file if you want. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on what I've shown so far? And if you do, either type them in the chat or click on mute to ask your question. Okay, if there are no questions, then the deadline for questions to be submitted is 10 days prior to the close date. As you can see, the close date of this bid is April 1st at 1400 hours, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Therefore, all questions should be submitted by close of business on March 22nd. And if no one has any questions, then at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to our project management team. That would be Chris Jones for the project. Please hold all questions until you're done or until Chris is done, and then we'll open up the floor for questions and answers after that. Chris?
Hey, how's everyone doing today? Yeah, essentially, I'll keep it short or as short as possible for what this project entails. But it's a low pressure sewer system of approximately 1,500 units, and we're looking to get and it's all within the specifications in case I don't spell every one of the specifications out, but the project's designed to get SCADA for every one of the low pressure sewer systems. We currently have a product that we use. It's approximately 12 years old. So this would be replacing those units and updating to the vendor that wins the bid here. The project is, we've got it funded for 4 years. We've set it up for 4 years. We can move beyond the 4 year if it's something we can do within 3. By all means, we've got it the ability to do it within 3 years. And it's going to be spelled out. You get the complete SCADA unit, the installation of the SCADA unit, and then the monitoring service. So each year, as you see on the screen, there are units that we're anticipating 500 per year being installed. It'll get us all through all 1,500 in case we do get it done in 3 years instead of 4. We have the ability within that contract. And then there's the 4th year of service of all 1,500 units. And then whoever wins this, and for the monitoring service, as we start bringing the new units online, we'll have to start working on a monitoring contract that starts after year 4 is complete on this contract. So we got to keep that in mind. It's going to be a continuing contract for monitoring. Other than that, if say on the construction side, if you come across one of the units and the existing electrical panel or the 4x4 concrete post is essentially what it's connected to. If we have something there that is damaged, we have a separate contractor that has the ability to come in and replace that. So if you do run across one in the field, it would be a matter of moving to the next one, calling that one out, and we would come in and replace that with a contractor that we have for maintenance or installation of the LPS system itself. Other than that, I think the specifications call out the bulk of the contract. So I don't want to dive deep and bore everyone with my conversation.
Okay. As Chris referenced, we do have the minimum requirements spelled out in the terms and conditions of the document. So please make sure you take a look at that. Does anybody have any questions? I'd like to open the floor for questions now.
Good afternoon. This is Michael Graham from MG Automation. Just wondering, are there any DBE requirements for this project?
I'm scrolling to the section. Utilization of DWBE. We do not have a goal set aside at this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Hi, this is elaborate a little bit more about the existing system that you have installed for monitoring at the lift stations. Thank you.
So the existing system, it's a radio system that I don't want to dive too deep into whose it is or any of that. It's become an obsolete system. It's not a up-to-date system per se. So it's just a small radio system that has become obsolete. We want to remove it. We want to move forward with the SCADA version that's cellular, that has backup battery capabilities, so forth. I don't know if you're asking more specific on the unit, the size, or any of that, but essentially it's just an obsolete radio unit.
Michael, does that cover what you're looking for? If you're speaking, unmute.
Yeah, I had a question about the estimate, the 3.6 Is that include the engineering, or is that for hardware? Or is that everything all inclusive?
That is all inclusive of the SCADA unit and installation.
And also is incorporating the monitoring.
Correct, the monitor as well, yep.
How deep is the average lift station? Do you know?
How deep? So they're not a standard station. It's a each one of these are single units, typically for a single home. So the depth, I would say you're probably looking no greater than, I'd say, 12 feet. There may be a couple larger units that are commercial that are, but for the most part, they're single residential homes. They're just small. A lot of them are fiberglass wells.
Okay. And are we going to get any kind of photo specs, site visits for the locations to kind of understand it a little better? Are we open to that?
Yeah, I think we're open to a site visit. We can have one scheduled.
To 1,500 locations?
No. You get an understanding. We could select a couple commercial and a couple residential, and that should give you the understanding of how many or what each would look like.
I
But it's
would
all
need to
free.
advertise that, Chris.
Okay. Or if it works, we could supply photos, either or. So that there's both options that I'd be able to meet the need.
Okay. And are you guys going to provide the staff equipment for the confined space entries?
What confined space entry would you need to make on this?
I'm sorry?
Why is there a need to make confined space entry?
Just a question. If there's no need for it, that's fine. It was just a question.
Yeah, I don't believe there's a need for it.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. That's all I have.
Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. This is Ben Matthews with Revere. Could we go back and take a look at the DWBE participation? On the following page that you're looking at here, there's a reference to anything over $200,000 actually having a goal. Is that being waived?
No.
So there will be a goal.
In connection with the solicitations resulting contract, a goal of not applicable has been established for participation. And I went and pulled our information from our economic development department just to make sure we were covering that. And it appears they did not set a goal. No goal, no set aside, no firms. For contracts for which no project goal was established, because the project or contract was estimated by the county at a price of less than $200,000, but for which the bid received equal or exceed $200,000, a 20% shall apply with the following target percentages. So what I'm seeing here is there is a base goal of 20% for anything over the $200,000 mark. It's just that our economic development department did not set a specific goal outside of the generic board authorized goal. But I will confirm and submit that as a Q&A and post a response just to be sure.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
There's a reference to like 4 contacts. What are the signals, Chris? I mean, how many are there? Is there 4, and can you tell us what those are?
So for the signals or dry contacts, we named 3. We were asking for a minimum of 4, but the 3 priority ones are your high level, your pump fail, and your power fail.
And those are all available in the existing control panels?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Jeremiah, you have your hand raised. Is that from your previous question?
Yeah, yes, I apologize. I'm good
Okay.
now.
Okay.
So other than the 4 dry contacts, so everything's digital, there's not any type of analog level measurement or floats that have to be incorporated into the SCADA system. Is that correct?
Let me see if my electrician is on. Greg, did you hear that question? Can you verify that that is correct?
Yeah, that for the most part, that's it. If we can hit those now, I believe that the high level is part of the float system that indicates where we got trouble. But other than that, that's it.
Greg, can you introduce yourself for the record as a county staff member?
My apologies. This is Greg Carrington. I'm a utilities manager for operations area pump stations.
Okay.
This is David Fox. I figured I could chime in too because I didn't introduce myself earlier. I'm sorry about that. I was a touch late in a different meeting. My name is David Fox. I'm a utility manager for the corrective maintenance side.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. The document mentions that you're looking for cellular communications. Are you open to a hybrid of cellular and 5 gigahertz or 2.4 gigahertz IP radio communications?
Hold on. We're going to have to him in order. Okay, let's try that now.
All right. So we're looking to get away from radio communications, so we were looking for 100% cellular.
Mike, your background noise is pretty loud. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more?
Is there a I don't know, GPS or a list of locations of these sites available?
Yes, we can provide a list for addresses.
Super. So, so is that something that might come out like in an addendum then, Christy, like the photo of a typical install and maybe addresses?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, then I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this pre-bid conference. This will conclude our meeting for today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy.
Thank you.